What's up, everybody? Welcome to Married with Media Live.
Hello.
Another live stream from Married with Media. How are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. We've been watching some movies lately.
Yeah. Today we've been watching some movies that I'm not really feeling.
Yeah.
Today was not a good day for TV or movies for us.
Yeah,
in
we
my
saw
opinion.
Candyman this morning, and we vlogged about it. So there's a reaction video. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth tonight. And then we watched Black Widow, which you pieced out on like 45 minutes left, and you didn't finish it.
Yeah, to be fair, though, I had to go take care of some kid duties.
Yeah, some kid duties.
And I was like, just go ahead and finish watching it. Let me know how that goes.
It was okay.
We'll talk about that here at some point, right?
Yeah. It's on the lineup. We're going to talk about Candyman, Black Widow, Malignant, which is the one that we watched over the weekend. Also had a vlog about.
Yep.
And also The Voyeurs.
The Voyeurs.
Is that what it's called? The Voyeurs on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
That was interesting too.
It was.
It's a lot of interesting movies to talk about.
Yeah.
Probably the least interesting one is Black Widow, I would say, out of all of them. Which is funny. That's the big budget superhero movie.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Let's not give too much away yet.
Okay. Well, we got a few people in the chat. I appreciate everybody being here. Hit the like button if you're here. If you're watching on the replay, hit the like button. So, I don't know. You want to get into it? You got anything else you need to say?
Well, I mean, in our vlog today, we kind of talked about how our theater has brought back daytime showings for during the week.
Yep.
So that was kind of a surprise to us because, I thought that they were gone for at least a while, if not forever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was kind of good, and I don't know if you can hear, but our dog is barking.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, she is old and blind and deaf and a hot mess, and hopefully one of our kids will make her happy, so I don't have to leave and run up there.
Yeah, and if not, you'll see me run up there, and I'll leave you by yourself.
Oh God,
that'll be fun, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Or I could put up a little "be right back" thing. I think I have one of those.
Yeah, see? You do. Yeah.
Actually, it didn't even come up. But okay, all right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Black Widow first because it's the one that I feel like I just left off on, and it's fresh in my mind. So
okay,
I might as well talk about that one first. So yeah, you watched an hour and 15 minutes of it.
So when did this come out?
This came out in July.
Okay, I believe. And so we're just now seeing it. Just now seeing it
because I bought the 4K yesterday.
I never had any interest in seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Scarlett Johansson fan. I'm
really not either.
Yeah, I don't see the need to tell her story.
Yeah.
But Disney, they love to make all the things they can. So anyway, yeah, so we kind of held out on this one for a long time, but you bought it on Tuesday because it came out.
I bought it, because I waited. I didn't see it in the theaters. I didn't buy it on Disney Plus. I was like, I'm just going to get the 4K.
Right.
Get that nice Target exclusive.
Yeah. So we watched it, and I just got to say, I was having a hard time understanding the story.
Yeah.
Not to sound stupid or anything, but
I think it requires a lot of, for one, knowledge of the universe,
right? Which I don't have.
And a lot of the events. The movie takes place between Civil War, Captain America: Civil War, and Infinity War. So you have to know that time period and what's going on. So basically, she has violated the Sokovia Accords, and she's on the run again, which we see a little bit in the beginning with. William Hurt's character, Thunderbolt Ross, I think's his name. And yeah, so but the whole time I'm thinking when I'm watching this movie, I'm like, damn, she went through all this stuff and then went and fought Thanos. It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you didn't see what happened in the last 45 minutes. It was just bonkers, nuts. They're in the air and she's freaking Superman flying through the air.
I mean, they were in the air on the like helicopter and stuff.
Yeah, so it gets kind of nuts in the third act, and
does it get kind of marvelly?
It gets very marvelly. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. It's a Marvel movie at this point. I'm not really too interested in this stuff anymore.
Right.
Like I said, it felt like this universe ended with Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, and they have to do something else to bring me back. They have to do something to intrigue me and bring me back into this universe. And rehashing some old characters and telling a side story is not going to do it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, they're just, pumping them out so much, so frequently that it's just like, you get tired of it. I mean, I'm sure some people don't, but for somebody like me, I'm like, But yeah, so I was just like trying to follow the story, not being a big Marvel fan, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen pretty much all of them, I think, except for maybe a couple.
But I don't like, I feel like I just kind of watch them. I don't like get super into the story and remember all the details and all that stuff, which, Marvel has always done a really great job at incorporating all of, the stories and stuff.
Yeah, they do. They're consistent with each other.
Right. I feel like they've done a really good job with that. Even just the tiniest details.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for this one, I was just trying to figure out who was who and what was going on. And it could just be that I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're not a big fan of.
It wants you to like, or it forces you to kind of invest emotionally in Scarlett Johansson's character and Florence Pugh and their sister relationship, or as it's revealed a little bit later on, they're not really sisters.
Yeah, I know. It's the whole time, when you're seeing previews and stuff, you're like, oh, they're a family and they're sisters, and they're not even sisters. And I mean, David Harbour's not their dad. And, I forget how old they were. Right. I forget how old they were when they were separated, but it's they couldn't have formed that strong of a bond.
Well, they said they were together for 3 years. So,
right, which isn't.
I mean, it's something.
It is, but it's just.
My point is, they're wanting us to.
It takes away from feeling that connection or sympathy or whatever.
Yeah, it's just we're not invested in those. We don't love those two actresses.
Right. I was gonna say we're not a big fan of.
Notably, not a fan of Florence Pugh.
Right.
I'm just not. And as soon as it starts off, she makes that.
She does
silly cry face that I cannot stand. It runs right through me.
Right.
From
it's
Midsummer.
This pouty face, her.
It's like she's always acting with her lips and her mouth,
which a lot of actors and actresses do. But
look, no shame. She's a fine actress. I'm not. She just doesn't jive with me. I guess I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to hate on her or anything like that. So she's doing her thing. She's obviously tons of people love her.
Oh, I mean, especially
she's doing great.
The male community. Yes. I see people posting about her all the time, but I'm like, so what if she's hot? Can she act? I don't know.
She doesn't need to worry about what some middle-aged movie nerd thinks about her and her acting.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not a big fan.
Yeah, so I mean, is that about it?
Yeah, I mean, it has some good action in it. I like some of the action in it. There were some reveals at the end that were kind of intriguing. I mean, it turned out that, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Black Widow, but there's a bunch of Black Widows in that Red Room facility that they go to in the sky at the end. He kind of created them all and made them loyal to him. So those little red vials that they have. This is just me telling you the plot because you walked out on it. They smash those and then they it's basically cures them of the hypnosis that they're under. Okay. And then there's multiple Taskmasters too. So there's multiple Black Widows and multiple Taskmasters. And they cure one of those too at the end.
So does it mean anything as far as the Marvel universe? like for future movies or anything, or no?
Probably not. I mean, like I said, this takes place in between the Infinity
so
World.
It seems like almost pointless.
I think it does because they will likely bring in Florence Pugh into the Marvel Universe at some point. She's going to be taking on the mantle of Black Widow.
That makes sense, I guess.
Because we don't have Scarlett Johansson anymore. Because again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame, but she dies in Endgame.
Right.
So I think that this movie is, if for anything, it's for setting up her character and establishing her in the universe, and she'll kind of move on from that.
Right. And even if like Florence Pugh didn't work out, like if they made it known that there's like a bunch of Black Widows, they could literally bring in anyone because we already know that there's a bunch of Black Widows. And
then one thing that you didn't know because you walked out, but Rachel Weisz's character, who we thought turned on him, was basically, she was like a double agent, I guess, going undercover. It turns out she's good in the end, and she helps him. So I mean, yeah. It was that. I mean, there were some moments I thought were mildly humorous and enjoyable, like the little dinner table banter that was going on between them.
What about what did you think of the accents?
I mean, they're stupid, but I mean, that's, you know, they're,
I couldn't deal with it. It was too much for me.
Yeah, I mean, but you get that, you know, with yeah, I mean, Scarlett Johansson never had that. I feel like Scarlett Johansson had the accent a little bit, like in the first Avengers.
I literally never picked up on her having one.
I feel like she had one a little bit. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
She like naturally has like this dark.
I am gonna address the chat because I haven't yet. But what
she has like a dark, raspy voice. Yeah, so maybe that like covered it up, but I never picked up on it. So
or maybe who I'm thinking of is Scarlet Witch. I think she had like a Sokovian accent in like the first
I really don't
Age of Ultron and a couple of them, and then she lost it, and everybody kind of calls her out for that. But we got Mama Blu-ray in here. Welcome, Mama Blu-ray. She says, "Hi, Ken and Michelle. I enjoyed Black Widow. I mean, it's a fun movie. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I'm glad I own it. You know, it's a movie that I won't mind rewatching if I have to go back through the, you know, the Marvel movies and rewatch it someday. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fine. I enjoyed it kind of like I enjoyed, I guess, Captain Marvel, which you haven't seen that one yet. About the same way. I didn't think it was horrible.
And I've never had any desire to see it either.
Yeah. You just don't like the female superheroes. Go ahead and call it like it is.
I know it sounds like I'm like sexist, but I'm not. I mean, I just like what I like, and I'm not going to like it.
It's just these women deserve better. Give them better superhero movies for God's sake. I mean, Wonder Woman 1984 was a disaster too.
Right.
And the first Wonder Woman's amazing though. Like that's like the only one.
Yeah.
Latula Moore says, "Oh no, spoiler reviews. I was going to watch the live stream, but I haven't seen Malignant or Candyman." Yeah, we're gonna go hard in the spoilers on Malignant, but Candyman. I mean, we're trying not to spoil too much, but yeah, probably we like to talk about things in a general way on these live streams. So
yeah,
we'll probably get into it a little bit.
Hard to share your thoughts when you have to like not talk about the things that like really stood out or and usually those are spoiler things. So
yeah, let's see. AJ Rax 2's in the house said, "Ken, did you pick up Zola?" I picked up Zola. I'm really mad at myself though because there was a Target cartwheel, and it would have been cheaper. And well, I looked the night before because I thought there might be, and it wasn't on there. Apparently, they put them on there like in the morning or something. I don't know. But yeah, I picked it up at Best Buy. It was only $16, so I grabbed that. Nice slip cover too. Owen Movie 75 said, "What's your opinion on Johnny Depp getting fired from Pirates of the Caribbean? I think it's really wrong and makes no sense." I didn't hear that he was fired from Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah,
I mean, I know he's been in and out of the news for like, you know, him and his ex-wife or something.
Yeah, the Amber Heard stuff. I mean, I to be honest, I don't really care about the celebrity gossip stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be all over that stuff, but not in a very long time. So I honestly don't know all the details. I don't know if I think he did it or if I think she did it, or they're probably both mentally messed up, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say about that is good luck trying to make a new Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp because he's like the selling point of that whole franchise.
Yeah.
But Latula Moore says, "Hey, take it easy on Florence Pugh. Shang-Chi was pretty good. Marvel still got the juice. Wait until X-Men and Blade come out. I'll be excited for Blade. I am very excited for Blade."
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
even after Candyman today.
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's got Mahershala Ali in it. I don't know why I'm messing up on my words today.
I know you need to
But I
relax a little
just
bit.
picturing him in that role, like he's gonna be excellent.
Yeah, true.
I can already see it. But as like, how's Marvel gonna handle it with it probably being PG-13, no blood, blade? I don't know. Hopefully they can pull it off. And yeah, I'm excited for what they do with the X-Men too. Scarlett Johansson never had an accident in any of the MCU movies. I think you're confusing her with Scarlet Witch. She started off with the accident, then dropped. Yeah, I think you're right too. I think I was confusing that. Latilla Moore says the first Wonder Woman is overrated. It was decent. I think that's because the previous DCU movies were bad. Exceptions or expectations for Wonder Woman were just lowered, so it seemed like it was great. I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I liked it. We saw that in theaters.
Yeah, I remember really liking it, but I don't think I've seen it since. I don't know.
Well, I think we watched it when I bought the 4K.
Maybe.
It's the first 4K movie I ever bought.
Is it? So yeah, I don't know if I would still think that or not. Or if I would just think that there were some like really good scenes. I know you really like the scene on the like field where she like runs out.
That's the No Man Land scene. That's like
right.
That's like the scene of the movie. I think that's the problem with the movie. I think it's great consistently throughout, but like no, that scene happens like right in the middle, and then it's like it peaks there.
Right.
And the third act doesn't quite measure up to that.
So is it really great then? I don't know.
I'd have to rewatch it, but I still think it's a really good DC movie. It's still probably in my top 3. Let's see. He says, I know you're thinking, thought she weren't going to watch live streams. Why are you still hanging out in here? No, I wasn't thinking that, man. But, we are getting ready to get into Candyman, and I'm only going to say it once.
Okay.
I'm only going to say it once because I can kind of see my reflection in the screen. So I don't know how that kind of works.
Yeah, I don't want to be dealing with any of that.
No, not tonight. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Maybe some other night. All right.
So, yeah. If you want to bring up that image, might be the only good thing about it. I don't know.
as far as my score on Black Widow is I would say 3 out of 5.
You always have to rate
stuff. It was decent. Yeah, well, that's what I'll give it on Letterboxd.
And I'm not going to rate it, guys, because I didn't even finish it.
You didn't finish it, but a movie that you did finish was Candyman. And I said it twice now. Okay. I said it twice now.
Okay.
So we're in trouble. Guys, I don't know what to say about this movie.
So yeah, I said earlier we got to go back to the movies today, and we decided on Candyman.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like expecting too much, so it's fine with how I ended up feeling about it. But Kim was pretty upset. He was pretty disappointed.
Upset. I was pretty upset. I want to get this out of the way because I want to feel good going into the next movies that we got to discuss. I did not like this at all.
Yeah.
I did not like this at all. And to be honest, the more I think about it, the more it upsets me.
Yeah.
Because of the talent involved. Because I just can't believe that Jordan Peele was responsible for making something this bad. Even though I know he didn't direct it, but he produced it, he wrote it. It was just so bland and boring and basic.
Yeah.
And it didn't bring anything new to the table. It didn't try to say anything new. It just tried to rehash some of the stuff and the themes from the original. And it just didn't even do a good job of doing that.
I mean, so you'll have to tell me as far as the original goes. I mean, was the whole art concept something new?
The art, well, Candyman's it was an artist.
Okay, so that was a legit thing
in the 1800s. Okay, son of a slave who got wealthy and was in the arts and was a painter, and he painted this one guy's daughter and got her pregnant and then got lynched and covered in honey, and bees attacked him. And they burned him alive, and they spread his ashes over Cabrini Green, which is
that area.
The poverty-stricken area in Chicago. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't I understand what they were trying to do with the multiple Candymans, but I really hated that too. I hated the fact that it just felt like it would have been fine maybe if they would just try to remake it, and it was the guy that got, spoiler, but the guy the guy that was hanging out in front of the apartment complex. how the cops beat him down and killed him, and then he came back and he was Candyman. They made a new Candyman basically.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, but then they wanted to try to bring in the old Candyman too and make him a part of this universe and that story from back in the day, and they tried to do both things at the same time, and it did not come together for me at all. That mixture of the two. I wish they would have just done one or the other. But
yeah, I don't know. I was just I was mostly bored.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talked about that in the vlog today, but I was ready to go, and I didn't mind, getting up and going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
To pass time. You got up and went to the bathroom too.
Yeah. I mean, I can see like if you don't care about the first Candyman and you just go see this movie, it's just it's a horror movie. It's a basic generic slasher. You might get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's me. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't into the first one and I didn't enjoy this, but
there's people that like it. There's a lot of people that said that they dug it, and or they're kind of lukewarm. It was okay. But for me, I just love that first one so much. And this almost feels like, I don't know how it's going to sit like in years to come, but this almost feels like how I feel about Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you said that.
It's like right there, like neck and neck. I don't ever want to watch this movie again. Right. It upsets me.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
And we talked about this too in the vlog, but the characters, they were just like pretty annoying.
They were painfully annoying.
Right.
Like all the way up to the lead character. And I like that guy. Like, I think he's a great actor. My team, or I can't think of his name, but
the main guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the girl, his girlfriend, I didn't realize at the time she was in Scarlet Witch. She was Monica Rambeau, which she was really great on that show. She was good in Candyman. It's probably the best character in Candyman.
Right. His girlfriend, I think, was probably the best in the movie. But it was like, I didn't feel like I was like rooting for anyone or like cared, or I wasn't like invested in anyone. I mean, I guess I kind of felt bad for the main guy because of what was happening to him, but I don't know. I feel like we didn't get deeply like connected to them. I don't know. Yeah. Like it was missing something.
Well, his transition into Candyman starts, and I don't feel like we really garnered any sympathy for him along the way.
Yeah.
He seemed like kind of a little bit of a dirtbag, I guess.
Right.
You'd say, because he was like, didn't care about that one guy that died
at the art show.
He was more like into himself and like.
Well, to be fair though, he had already been stung, and I think he was already like
that's
turning
true too.
Like into
That's true too.
But I don't know. It just wasn't great.
I like the whole idea of him being the baby from the first movie.
Yeah.
And I like the scene with him and his mom, who's the same actress, Vanessa Williams, from the first movie.
Oh.
Like I like that stuff. I just didn't like how they tried to meld that together with like something new that like a new Candyman, which I hated the new Candyman. He like has a grin on his face. He's smiling. And Candyman doesn't smile.
And I mean, like you said it. You said, I don't know if you want to say this or not, but you said that like they were playing him like he had something wrong with him.
He had disabilities. Like he was a disabled guy. Obviously, he had mental issues. Like he was just standing in front of the apartment complex with a smile on his face, handing out candy to the kids.
But like in the original or this one?
In this one.
Okay,
in the original, he's smart and sophisticated.
Right. Yeah.
And cultured.
Yeah.
And that happens to him. And then he comes back as a ghost to haunt everybody.
Right.
So it's just two completely different types of Candyman.
And something else you'll have to tell me. So like in the original one, did it work the same way where he was like, you couldn't see him unless it showed like the reflection?
I hated that too.
Yeah.
I hated that too. It looked so stupid.
Yeah, so like in this one, whenever he would come out and kill someone, it would look like no one was there unless we got a shot of in the mirror, and then we can actually see him, but only if there was a mirror involved. Otherwise, it just looked like this person was getting murdered by like an invisible ghost.
Yeah, I mean, it was just dumb.
Right.
It was just dumb. You want me to get her?
What's wrong?
I want more water. Leave now water.
Okay.
Here, take this.
Our daughter has
Infiltrated
come
the live
to
stream.
Crash our. Go on. Can she open that? Go on. You can't be on here.
There you go. All right.
Knew that was gonna happen.
All right. Where were we?
I don't know. Read some comments. Maybe
4KD Ray's in here.
Hello.
What are those emojis?
He's waving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, 4K. Latula Moore says, I want to support the stream. I'll turn down the volume and come back later. Ken is my dude. Thank you so much,
Isn't
man. I
that
appreciate
nice?
that.
That's so nice.
Be careful. They're doing spoiler reviews of Candyman and Malignant.
Oh, has he not seen them yet?
I think 4K's seen Malignant. I remember he was talking about it. I think he commented on our reaction video. Joker926 says, hey guys, a little off movie topic, but are you guys fanboys of a TV brand? Like, are you a Sony or Samsung or LG fan when it comes to TVs? Not really. I mean, I have a Samsung and an LG, so I wouldn't say I'm a fanboy of anything.
Yeah, we're not really like technology nerds or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we would love to get, some nice
as far as
fancy stuff, but we haven't got there yet.
Yeah, I'm wanting to get an LG TV next, so I guess I'm in the LG camp now.
Yeah, he keeps telling me that we need a new TV down here in the basement, and I'm like, it's only a few years old.
Yeah,
but he's like, it doesn't matter.
It's not as good. I need a better one.
So,
Lucilla Moore says the baby from the first movie. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lucilla. You said you were going to turn the volume down, man. But to be fair, like, I don't really think that's a spoiler because I don't know. Like, if you look in the, like, I thought that before we even saw the movie because, like, who else could he be? Just going off of the trailers.
If they were even
and they had the same name. Like, you look at his name in IMDb and it's the same as the baby's name in Candyman.
Well, I was going to say, like, if you didn't know that, like, maybe they decided to take a different route and, like, they weren't connected or whatever.
Yeah.
But, of course, they, it probably makes sense to somehow connect them instead of being random. But
yeah, I mean, there was some decent gore in the movie, but like I said, the characters are all so stupid, and like the scene with the teenage girls and
we were talking about
completely
how
random.
he was invisible unless you saw him here.
That's
before our daughter came down and crashed our live stream.
The scene in the mirror or in the bathroom of the school, that just felt completely random, and it was like, why did that even need to be there? Like,
right.
Other than to just ratchet up the body count, which the first Candyman, I think only like 2 or 3 people died. So it wasn't like a big body count or anything.
Yeah. And like, the one girl went to the art show, but other than that, they literally did not even pertain to the story.
Yeah. I mean, aside from just the story issues that I have, like, it's just not a good movie either. Yeah. It's just a very basic horror movie.
What would you rate it?
I'd give it like a 1.5 or 2.
Damn.
Like, I really don't like this movie a lot. And then to just get into the last thing that I'm going to bitch about a little bit, and it's they got to bring in Tony Todd at the end.
Oh yeah.
And it's not Tony Todd; it's like a DH Tony Todd. It kind of looks borderline CGI.
Yeah. See, I thought it was. I mean, like, I know that wasn't him.
Yeah, it looked stupid. And
I mean, do you know? Did they get him to participate?
I'm sure they did. Tony Todd still is in movies. He's still in horror movies.
So you think that was him, and they de-aged him?
And they de-aged.
Because to me, it looked like pure CGI stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, his name. I'm pretty sure his name's on the IMDb, but I could be wrong. Yeah. So that's how they close the movie, and it's like it just puts the cherry on top of the shit sundae for me.
Yeah.
And
I mean, so at the end how spoiler alert, but like he doesn't kill his girlfriend. I mean, would that have been like in true Candyman fashion? Like, he would not have killed someone?
Well,
even though it was his girlfriend.
I don't know.
Because, like, you know, you think a killer, like, he doesn't give a crap. Like, he's Candyman now. So it's like the fact that he let her stay alive.
Well,
like,
Candyman. Well, also Candyman's a romantic type.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you know, he died loving, you know, a girl, getting her pregnant and everything. And in the first one, Helen was kind of like he was trying to pass that love on to her. And there's like some romance involved in the first Candyman. So he's a romantic type. I don't think he would have killed her.
Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of just like corny when she's like, the cops have, you know, taken her, and she's like, I'll say whatever you want me to say. Can I just look at myself? And he's like, what? The cop? And
It's
she's
so
like,
stupid.
Yeah, she's like, can I just look at myself? And he's like, okay. And he like faces the rearview mirror at her, and she says Candyman 5 times, and it's just like, come on.
I don't know. It's bad, and it breaks my heart. I really wanted to love this movie.
I'm sorry.
It's bad. That's all I can say. And if you like it, I get it. Like what you want to like. I don't like it. I didn't like it.
Fair enough.
Let's talk about Voyeurs.
Well, don't you want to know what I would rate it?
What would you rate it?
So I'm going to go like 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, just a generic horror slasher movie that you have no connection or attachment to.
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it. What would you rate Voyeurs off the top?
We haven't talked about it yet.
Voyeurs is on Amazon Prime right now.
Right.
And yeah, this movie was interesting.
It was. We got what's her name? Sweeney.
A girl from White Lotus.
Yeah, she was in White Lotus. Her voice is super annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I feel like I can deal with it a little bit. And then we got the guy who I just know from the Pikachu movie.
Yeah, I think his name is I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
I know you said he was in
he was in Jurassic World. He's been in a lot of the YA like teen romance movies that we watched. He was in The Map of Tiny Perfect Little Things. He was in he was in something else too that we watched. He's been in a couple of things.
It's really weird because in this movie, his voice sounds so strange. And when I had, I saw a
Justice Smith is his name.
Okay. I saw a post about this movie, and people in the comments mentioned how his voice sounded too. It was like he was doing this like weird, like deep voice, but like it just sounded really strange. And I'm like, I've never heard him sound like this. But.
He was in the movie called Every Day. We watched that. It was where there was like a Groundhog Day type of movie.
Yeah.
Like a time loop movie.
I just don't remember him in that. But
so he's been in 2 time loop movies because Map of Tiny Perfect Little Things was like that too.
Right. So yeah, in this movie, this, you know, young couple, they get this apartment in the city, and it's kind of like what's that movie with Amy Adams?
Like The Lady in the Window.
Yeah, kind of like
it kind of has some Hitchcock vibes. Like
yeah. So
they
start like spying on the neighbors, and like more specifically this other guy and girl, and like, you know, they're just like flat out having sex, you know, with their windows open and all this stuff. And it's funny because I saw someone comment about how this was like a mini porno movie or something, because there's just like a ton of sex and boobs and asses. And
so if you like all that stuff,
if you want to see some boobies, this movie is definitely for you, because I've never seen so many tits in all my life.
You obviously haven't watched a lot of 80s horror movies.
Well, I've seen those, and I always tell you that that's why you like them so much. But yeah, I mean, just boobs all over the place. But I don't know, this movie.
It was like after midnight on Cinemax. On this movie,
it was just I don't know. It ended up being kind of like generic for me, and like the story, it was kind of like they were just trying to like throw in these shock factors that like just didn't
we'll try to keep this one spoiler free, but there's like 8 twists at the end.
Yeah, it's just like they kept doing it like they were just trying to be like, whoa, do we blow your mind yet? And
it's like just when they really should have just stopped at the art
Right.
gallery. Like
Right.
that should have been the twist, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And they just kept going on and on and on for like another 25 minutes.
Right.
And just turning every which way. Up until that ending, the reveal, I mean, I was intrigued in the movie. I was interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really bored.
Yeah.
I wasn't bored, so I guess you could say that, like, obviously it wasn't terrible. It was better than Candyman.
It was better than Candyman, but Candyman is probably the worst movie of the year. I'll go ahead and say that.
But like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind, like, you know, some sex and boobs and stuff, but like, it gets to a point where it's like, okay,
well, I think
we
it's
get it.
the final sex scene is very graphic.
Yeah,
and goes for a long time.
It does, yeah. I like felt like we were watching a porno together or something.
Yeah.
It was just like,
like, really? This is on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know. I guess the stuff that they can show is just like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They've always been able to show women's boobs.
Yeah. It was an erotic thriller in the vein of a lot of the ones you would see from like the 90s. You know, kind of like a Fatal Attraction, kind of like a Basic Instinct, kind of in that same vein of like those 90s thriller movies, I would say.
Yeah.
Updated a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Hitchcock vibe. So like up until we got to the end and all the unnecessary twists, like I didn't hate this movie. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
I would have probably, if it wasn't for all those twists, I would probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5.
Right. I would agree with that.
If it ended a little stronger. I thought it was interesting. So it was just a little too long. I think it was almost 2 hours. You had cut out the like last 15 minutes, it would have been a stronger movie.
I definitely think all the little twists that they tried to do took away from it. But yeah, I think that score is fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Owen Movie 75 says it has an interesting concept, but the characters are so unlikable because they know what they're doing is bad, but they still did it.
I know, like that girl, she like gave no shits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, obviously.
And that's why like the ending at the art gallery would have been the perfect ending.
Right.
But then, you know, you got to keep it going.
I forget because there were so many like parts to it.
You know, just when she reveals what happened and then what she caused.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to spoil this one. This will be the one movie we don't spoil.
Right.
The next movie we're gonna spoil the shit out of. So if you haven't seen Malignant yet, then get out of here and go watch Malignant on HBO Max or go to the theater or whatever you want to do. Because this one, we enjoyed this one.
Yep.
We enjoyed this one. I'm very surprised like this as much as you did.
Yeah.
Just the kind of movie this is.
Right. We watched it at home. If you haven't seen our vlog, go check it out. We did a little couch from the couch vlog.
And again, this is directed by James Wan.
Right.
Who also directed The Conjuring. What a lot of people would say is the best horror movie of the 21st century. Insidious.
And see, I wouldn't agree with
franchise.
that, by the way, but
Saw launched a very successful franchise.
Right.
That's still going on to this day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm not. Ken's all big into that. I mean, I think that they're good, but I'm not like all high and mighty on it like you are.
Conjuring.
Yeah.
First two are great. The rest of the movies in the universe, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, they're good, but I'm not like, oh man, like you're amazing and all that. But and I know you got some shit for like praising him too. I saw you like make a post and someone was like, he's so mediocre or something.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what comment it was, but it was funny. It's always
mediocre
funny.
Director, and I was like, so having 3 of the most successful franchises in universe
is
in horror in the 21st century. Not even just horror, like 3 of the most successful franchises, period, in the entire 21st century has come from his mind.
Right. But yeah, so we watched it at home, and I mean, from the very beginning, it just like pulled me in. I loved the music. Yeah. The music was like really cool, and just like the story. I know, like I heard some people say that it was like like, I guess, generic or basic or like predictable. And like, I don't know, for me, it worked. I loved it. I thought it was
If you
fun
predicted
and cool
those
and-
last 30 minutes, then you are really good at predicting the movies because it was very unpredictable. I was not expecting that.
Right. And like,
Not in that way.
right.
I was expecting
like,
something like that.
right.
And we'll take a few minutes and we'll talk about the movie in general. And then we're just going to open this wide open.
Gotcha.
And give spoilers.
Yeah. So what do you want to say about it?
I mean, basically, I'm just happy that a movie like this exists. And it made me it reignited like a passion for movies in me. Because it was so different and it didn't feel like everything else that I watched.
You only gave this a 3.
I did because when I finished watching this movie, I'm like, I don't know if what I watched was the dumbest thing I've seen all year or like the most genius.
Right.
And it's that kind of movie. Like a lot of people, you're going to watch this movie, you're going to say this is dumb as shit. I don't know what people are talking about. I don't know why people are praising this.
Right.
Or you're going to be like, that was freaking awesome. Like I was not expecting that.
Yeah. See, for me, I lean more towards like genius or brilliant.
Yeah. And it's just when we went into this movie, this is coming from James Wan, like the haunted house horror guy, done Insidious, done the Conjuring movies.
Baby,
like,
we know you already said that.
I'm expecting a horror haunted house type movie, another demon possession movie.
What movies did he do? Tell us one more time.
He did Insidious 1 and Chapter 2.
Conjuring?
And he also did Conjuring 1 and 2. And then he did
in case you missed it.
He did Saw, which I would say this one
we know.
There's more Saw in this one, I think, than there is
Insidious. The music definitely gave me like a Saw vibe, but like I don't know, this movie was just fun. I loved it, and like I didn't want it to be over. Like,
yeah, even before you get to the last 30 minutes, like it's intriguing, it's engaging. Like the performances aren't the best, but I almost feel like they're intentionally not good.
Right.
Just kind of in like a campy sort of way. I never once felt like James Wan didn't know what he was doing behind the camera or with this material. And I just love the fact that he's like took everybody's expectations of this guy that directed the greatest horror film of the 21st century, The Conjuring. And
what
he
else?
came up with this like really wild, batshit crazy idea.
Right.
And
like
threw everybody for a loop and just left everybody else in the dust because they were not expecting this. He's like, oh, you all expect me to make a demonic possession, standard James Wan horror movie? Well, I'm going to throw this crazy ass shit at you.
Right.
And this movie was nuts. And
well, I remember, so when we watched or when we knew that the third Conjuring movie was coming out, I remember you being upset because he wasn't doing it. Yeah. And you were like, well, I know that Malignant has to be good because he's not doing Conjuring. Yeah. Instead.
But I was so confused. I'm like, is Malignant just going to be another demonic possession type movie? And it's like, well, why didn't you just do Conjuring 3? Why did you have to go do this other haunted house possession movie? Because that's what it feels like when you watch the trailer. Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was the thing is that this was like a good kind of trailer. You know, a lot of trailers just like literally give you everything. And like this trailer, like played it up like it was something completely different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like when I watched the trailer, like I honestly wasn't even feeling it. I'm like,
It just looked like she's laying in her bed. There's something coming up behind her. You have no context, but you assume it's some kind of ghost or something.
Yeah, this movie turned out to be something like so much different than what I thought it was going to be. And it was in my case, it was a good thing.
Yeah. So basically we can kind of get into the story of this. I'm going to bring up IMDb just so I don't mess up any character names or anything.
Okay.
But can you think of what it's about off the top of your head?
Yeah. So, I mean, so it opens up.
You got Madison, who's the main character.
Right. It opens up with a girl, and
another thing, like this cast, I don't know anybody.
I can't tell them if you keep interrupting.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
It opens up with this girl, and she's with child. She's pregnant. She's like coming home. I think she might be a nurse or something. She has like.
Hold on. That's not how it opens up. It opens up with this crazy ass scene in a hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that crazy scene in the hospital where they're like, you know, this thing that has like telekinetic powers and it's like closing doors and stuff.
Yeah, but we never get to see it.
And you have no context for it. And also it starts with this really cool, like, I don't know, like retro VHS type aesthetic where the TV's like static and everything.
Yeah, I forgot about that, like pre-opening or whatever.
Yeah, but go ahead. Bring us into that. She comes
well,
home.
I mean, it's important to say, I guess, but yeah, like like it opens up, basically like you can tell they're like in some kind of like laboratory or something.
Yeah.
And there's like this doctor and she's like recording herself and she's talking about this, what do you call them? Like when you have like a specimen or case number or whatever. Like what do you, I forget what you call them. I'm trying to think of a word, but
she's like in some kind of science lab.
Yeah. And she's like talking to herself, recording, you know, for like the future or whatever. And she's like, does she call him like a number or does she say Gabriel in the video? I can't remember, but she's like, you know, she's getting stronger or he's getting stronger. I can't remember, but
yeah, there's like stuff flying around.
And then a doctor like runs in and he's like, you gotta come. Like he's killing all these people or whatever. And it's just like, you know, bloody bad.
The lights are flickering. So there's some kind of electromagnetic thing going on with him.
Right. Yeah. So like big old scene with that. And then it just like cuts to like current time.
Yes.
Cause like that was like, how long ago?
Like when they were kids.
Yeah. However long ago, years ago. And then, like I said, it opens up with the woman. She's with child. She comes home and like I think they were married, right? Her husband's like on the bed watching like a match or something. And like you can tell right away that he's like a piece of shit. He's like, don't turn off my show. And she's like, I need to lay down. Like
and also apparently she's been pregnant like 3 times before.
Yeah. She keeps having miscarriages and like, you know, yada, yada, yada. And they basically, like, you can tell that he's probably hit her before, but he, like, gets mad about something. And, I mean, are we, like, talking about all this? I don't want to, like, give a play-by-play. But anyway, he, like, basically whacks her head on the wall. And you're like, oh, okay, he's one of those guys. Like,
yeah.
And so, like, the whole movie, which I really want to go back and watch it again.
But her blood splatters on the wall.
Yeah. So like,
from her head.
I was going to talk about this. Like the whole movie, like her head is like, it keeps bleeding or whatever. And I'm like, what does her head keep, like, why is she not taking care of this? Yeah. Blood on the pillow. Like she's laying down, going to bed and stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, like fix your head.
Yeah.
And then, so it's just like a really nice, like the reveal towards the end. It's like, oh my God, that's why her head kept bleeding. Like it just like made
sense. One of those reveals. It's like, it just makes the entire movie make sense. And then it just feels so satisfying because you sat there and watched it trying to figure it out the whole time. And then it's just like, oh, that's it. Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I really want to go back and rewatch it again to like pick up on all those things and like for things to like make more sense and stuff.
But anyway, like before we get to the ending, so he smacks her head on the wall, she loses the baby, and then she starts to experience
like kind
visions.
Of hallucinations and visions.
And basically, like you don't know, like you're kind of thinking that this could be a supernatural type movie because she's like being transported to these areas where people are being murdered violently by this creature looking thing.
Yeah, and it definitely gave me like kind of Ring Girl vibes. Like it's
hair's
got this,
all
like,
in the
long...
face, which that makes sense in the end too.
Right.
He's got some kind of like trophy weapon, and basically
it's like all black.
Yeah,
it's like this just black.
He's assassinating this person. I say creature, but it's a person all in black, hairs in the face. You can't really tell what the hell it is.
Right.
And he's killing people very violently. I might add. There's blood everywhere.
Well, she. We don't know what is, but
yeah, he's killing all the people that were in the lab basically in the beginning of the movie. So he's going around killing all these people that were involved with the lab stuff at the beginning, which you don't really make. I mean, there's some kind of connection, but you don't know exactly what the connection is.
Right.
When he's killing them.
Like, you don't. Yeah. And like, you don't understand why she's able to see all of this stuff happen.
Yeah.
and you're getting bits and pieces. Like she has like a sister that comes to help her, and like she's trying to like talk to other people to like figure out what's going on, basically, because they told her that the cops or whatever told her that like there must have been just an intruder or whatever.
And the first thing I think is, okay, she's obviously like having some sort of blackout, and then she's the one that's killing people.
Because it
like,
makes sense, right? She hit her head. Like she's
blacking out. She's killing everybody. That's actually her that's killing people. But it's still this weird thing. The movements are really weird. It's almost like superhuman. She's like jumping and freaking flying down stairs on the side of buildings and like doing like some weird acrobatic moves and stuff.
Right.
But just the way that just going into
also something else to note is like the creature. I'm not going to call it a her because we don't know what it was at this point.
Yeah.
But like its hands were backwards.
Yeah.
Like,
did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I did.
Before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But even so, like I still did not predict what happened.
Yeah. But this getting into like just James Wan again. I'm going to bring his name up. Just the way
what did he do?
He did The Conjuring.
Oh.
You've seen that
and
one?
And what else?
Insidious and
That's
Saw.
right.
And Dead Silence and Death Sentence.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon. I don't know if you've seen
Gotcha.
that. And Aquaman and Fast and Furious. The guy's multi-talented.
Okay.
But anyway, just the way he directs this movie and those sequences when she's like transitioning into this like dreamlike world, and just how he moves the camera around. He's just such like a technical expert when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
And you can tell at this point that he's just showing off with
well,
like
it's
his
funny
abilities.
Because I was watching on Instagram someone who likes to review movies and stuff. She was talking about how much she hated this movie.
Yeah.
And like everybody's different. We all like different things. That's totally fine or whatever.
It might be in here right now.
No, I don't think so. But she hated the movie. She said that like the acting was horrible. Like she basically hated everything. She said the sets were bad. Like she just hated this movie really bad. And it's just so interesting and funny because like I didn't, and it's cool.
Everything negative I've heard about this movie, it's like everything they say, positive. It's like true. It's true, but it's just I guess the way that you take it and the way you choose to accept what you're being given here.
Yeah, I just didn't feel that way, but
I just thought this was just a wildly different, original movie, unlike anything I've ever seen before. And like at this point in time, I appreciate movies like this so much more than I do just basic remakes or reboots like Candyman.
Right.
Just generic. Let's freaking pull out the generic slasher from the 80s and 90s and slap a new coat of paint on it and throw it out there, throw the garbage out there to the kids and see if they enjoy it.
Yeah.
He made something here, like artistically, good or bad, if you like it or not, it's something different.
Yeah.
For all of us to enjoy.
We're almost at 9. So let's talk about the like finale.
Okay. Well, let me address some of these comments real quick. 4K Ray says, I enjoyed Malignant. The fight scenes were good. The fight scenes were good. And this is a horror movie. He's talking about the fight scenes. That's how interesting this third act gets. Chandler says, I enjoyed the movie Malignant a lot. Definitely a lot of fun. The police station at the end was definitely a fun scene. Yes, for sure. Brian Goes Blues in the chat. Welcome, man. Happy to have you here. Joker 926 says, I would love Death Sentence on Blu-ray. The Baconator being a badass. I'll watch that this week for the first time. Definitely good. Jeff Assassin says, hi, Ken and Michelle. Even though you didn't like the new Candyman movie, will you still buy it sometime? Because you bought Mortal Kombat Annihilation, one of the worst sequels ever. You know what, Jeff? I say I'm never going to watch a movie again, and I'm not going to buy it right now. I'm sure at some point I'll end up
I told somebody in the comments that you didn't plan on buying it. But
I'm a completionist.
I told him though. I said, really? I said, you literally buy all kinds of crap that isn't good. Or you said, well, a blind buy is not the same thing. Or what did you say? Stepping in dog shit on purpose is not the same thing.
Yeah, that's an original quote right there. You can either step in dog shit on accident and blind buy something, or you can step it out on purpose and buy something that you know you're going to hate.
Put that on a t-shirt.
So I'll order the 4K when it goes down to $4 on Amazon or something. I don't know. And I'll get Farewell to the Flesh and Day of the Dead at some point too. Brian Goes Blue says, "Can we get a 4K steelbook with Madison on one side and Gabriel on the other?" That sounds incredible.
There's all kinds of possibilities.
Sounds good. All right. So, do you want to do the reveal at the end? So, basically, Madison gets locked up because they think that she did all the killings and all the murders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's at the last crime scene or something. I think. Is that what happened?
Well, what happened is she's at home.
No,
the cops are over. All of a sudden, somebody falls out of her ceiling.
Yeah, this woman is abducted like in the first 10 minutes of the movie and put in the attic. You don't know it's the attic to her house until you get to this point.
And I had my guesses about who she was, and I was right.
She's her mom.
She's the mom.
Yeah.
Because at some point in the story, the girl, what's her name? He just said it. Madison. She finds out that, well, she didn't find out. She knew that she was adopted. She said that, you know, she had no recollection of anything before like 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
So that was another key to the puzzle, you know, or whatever. You know, and then we find out too that she was this specimen from earlier where the doctor was talking about her or whatever. We find that out.
She's the specimen in the laboratory at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
and
she's not the specimen. She was the girl that had. Okay, go ahead.
No. So we find out that she was indeed the laboratory experiment kind of thing or whatever. And so then they flash back to a part of the video again. It's like her mom, her adopted mom and sister are watching this video that they found because they're trying to figure out too what's happening to their daughter or their daughter and sister or whatever. And so they're watching a video and they're like, it's the doctors and they're like talking about this surgery they're about to do. And like, it's like kind of, I think what you would call like an iconic line where the doctor's like, you say it.
I can't remember what he says.
About the cancer. Cut out.
Oh, we're going to cut out the cancer.
No, she doesn't say it like that, but okay. She's a woman, so she doesn't talk like
we're going to cut out the cancer.
She says it like all like accenty.
Yeah, I don't remember the line.
The cancer.
The cancer. Okay.
It's time to cut out the cancer.
I didn't know it was that iconic. Yet.
Okay, it was. I think it's going to live down in like iconic history.
Is it going to be better than The Conjuring? The hide and clap?
So, I don't know what that means, but anyway.
Remember that?
Is that where they like wake up?
No.
Okay.
You got to watch The Conjuring again.
Okay, anyway. So, it like pans over to the girl. And you see, you know, Madison as a child or whatever. And then it goes around to the back of her. And you get this like kind of like skeleton looking monster thing. And it's like.
It's a conjoined twin thing.
Yes. So you find out that she had been a twin in the womb. And it had a name for like. It like doesn't want to die. And it like keeps trying to like.
It's what they call it. They call it a parasitic malignant, which is the title.
Right.
Tumor.
Yes. And it like gets hair and it tries to become a person essentially. And it doesn't want to die. It wants to feed off of the living twin or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they were like so connected that I guess it was going to be dangerous to cut it off of her.
So she goes to age 8 with the thing like fully formed on her back.
On her back.
It's just like hanging off, talking and everything.
It's got like ribs and it's got arms, these little arm nub things.
So when they say we're going to
cut. And it's like screaming. And at this point, that thing has become super powerful and it's like controlling the lights. And that's why they're like, we got to cut this shit out because now it's getting too strong or whatever.
So they cut it out and then they can't get all of it out.
Right.
And then they stitch her up, sew her up. So she's still got part of this thing in the back of her head, but they're able to confine it there.
Push it down in there.
Yeah.
And so this whole time she's had this monster, this
inside
of her.
A literal monster inside of her.
Right. And so that takes us back to the part where her husband whacks her head on the wall and that kind of wakes him up. Okay. And makes him come out.
And then at that point, he's on a revenge streak. He's going to get after everybody because it all makes sense.
Right.
He's going after everybody that tried to cut him out. So that's why he kills all the doctors and stuff.
Right. And he has a name. His name is Gabriel. But
anyway, the whole time we're watching them discover this, then we pan back to the prison.
Right.
And she's locked up because they thought she murdered everybody. And then he emerges from her and you see the transformation.
Right.
that
you see how
in the cell with like 20 other women.
Right.
And they're all watching
see
this.
that it was her, it was them the whole time killing all these people. It was him taking over her body doing it. Hence why she felt like she was there.
Yeah.
For all these murders. And you, like you said, you get to see the transformation.
And
so
boy,
it's like,
this transformation scene is incredible too. As a fan of American Werewolf in London, like that has an awesome transformation scene as well.
You see like the hands
it's like
cracking
super
back.
Body horror. Like
And like whenever he's taking control, she's kind of like in a sleep state kind of thing.
Yeah, you see her like when he's taking over, her eyes just kind of go back in her head.
Talking about that was literally my only complaint with this whole movie was like the way that it looked sometimes. So like when it was like it was just being still and on it, like I thought the face looked fine or whatever for Gabriel. You know, it was kind of bloody and weird looking, alien kind of looking. Like that was fine, but whenever they would do the scene, like the fight scenes and killing scenes and stuff, it was a little CGI looking and looked kind of goofy. But like I didn't give a shit.
But getting into so what happens after she transformed? She just brutally massacres everybody in that prison cell,
right?
Like in just the most brutal way, blood flying everywhere. Like the whole cell is.
And a lot of people are comparing it to John Wick, which fair enough.
No. The Matrix.
No, people are saying John Wick. You said it was like Matrix.
I say the movements are like Matrix.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's where I get into my one kind of negative and where I was a little bit confused on how I felt about it because I love when she's in the cell and she kills everybody in the cell. It's super awesome and cool.
Yeah.
And then she breaks out of the cell and she goes out there and continues the massacre. All the cops, she kills all the cops, but just like she's like flailing around and like doing all these maneuvers. And,
right. So you kind of think like, how does Gabriel or whatever know how to move like that? But like I said,
Gabriel is a bad mother effer.
Like I just like literally didn't care and I still loved it. And
your suspension of disbelief was able to tolerate it at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
we had already seen too much.
Yeah. And I just like I don't know how to describe it, but I just like love those kind of stories. Like it's just like a cool story. Like I mean you could say that it's like not that creative, like they were twins connected. Like you've heard of connecting twins before and like cutting them apart.
It was just the way that it was told. And just all the little like hints you were given throughout the movie and just how it came together. Like there's a lot of twists that just don't feel satisfying.
And like at one point, I literally had guessed that she had a twin. But never did I think that they were still connected to each other.
Yes. Yeah. Because we were like, oh, they cut him out.
But then, like I said, when I realized that, and I'm like, that's why her head kept bleeding. Like that was just such a light bulb moment for me where I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
I guessed it was her that was doing the killings, which was true. You guessed she had a twin that was doing the killings, which was true, but we did not guess that they were together.
Right.
Which was the twist. And it was just super cool.
It was cool. And then like we found out that the woman that he had kidnapped was we already talked about that, was the mom. What else happened? I know some people said the ending was kind of a little like I think somebody said Hallmarky. Like they said that the final line.
The stuff that happened in it was like hospital the sister room.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
That was okay.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know like what the final line was or anything.
Yeah. At that point, like I was just such in a daze from everything that I had seen. I was like, what is going on? I was just like such in awe of what I was watching. It was like, I've just never seen anything like this. Like I can't believe
I do remember though. Remember she like took her power back and then like it showed her kind of locking him in this fictional jail cell.
Yeah.
She was like, I've taken my power back. You're not going to control me anymore. So he's technically still in there.
Leaves it open for a sequel.
Right.
We could have another James Wan massive franchise.
And she was like, you could come back again, but next time I'll be ready.
I still just think that this is, I don't know if this is going to take off like a Conjuring or Insidious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if like James Wan at this point even wanted it to. It's kind of like he's just stuck his claim in the genre and he's already become like a master of it.
Like, are you
he's
talking
just trying
about,
to do different shit now.
Are you talking about like making another one?
Yeah, making like a Malignant 2, 3, a whole Malignant universe maybe.
No, like I absolutely do not think they need to make another one. I think this was perfect, standalone, the end. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, it was just nuts. And feel free if y'all are in there, because there's 11 people, comment your thoughts on everything. But
Film Geeks is here. Let's go.
Cinema Stay says, I appreciated it for its originality, but it overall didn't work for me. The first 2 acts felt like a soap opera, and the ending was just too silly. I know it's intentional, but the tones clash for me. I get it. I get it.
Fair enough.
I get it. Film Geek says, hey, y'all. He said that jail scene was absolutely crazy, and I loved it. It was crazy.
It was.
It was. It defied like the laws of just traditional filmmaking. This movie did.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved it for that. I love that it was different.
And see, like, honestly, for me, I like, maybe it's because I'm a woman or whatever. I mean, I don't want to sound, women don't like fight scenes. Like, that's clearly not true. But like, for me, like the fight scene, like the jail cell where she was like killing all the people, or he was killing all the people, like that was cool and everything. And I liked it. But like, that wasn't even like the highlight of the movie for me, which I know you would probably say that it was, maybe.
The jail scene was.
Yeah. But like, for me, it was like just the reveal and like all of it, like leading up to it.
It was all of it just coming together.
Yeah. Like all of it, like even up to, like, I enjoyed just like her being in the house and like trying to figure out what was going on. And
yeah, I love the direction. I just think James Wan is a master behind the camera.
And like you were talking about his like he's the director, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to sound stupid here, but
yeah, he's not the writer.
Right, but like he controls like the camera and stuff, right?
Well,
or
you
like
also have the cinematographer. It's
a joint effort. But like I was telling you when we watched it, like some of the scenes I just really thought were nice and I enjoyed. Like, in the beginning with the husband or whatever, like, he's clearly pissed off his wife because he just whacked her head on the wall. So he goes and sleeps downstairs, which is when he gets killed. But like, it was just this cool scene of him like waking up in the middle of the night and he hears something. And the way that he just like the camera like pans around
how
him
in
as
scary
he like
movies,
turns to look in the kitchen.
You know how in scary movies now you'll get that shot where you see the person, then you'll see off in the distance something that's a little blurry. That's basically he created that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's people that did it before.
He didn't even do that though. He didn't even do that.
He did it a few times.
Well, he might have, but not in that scene. I'm talking about like the way that the camera like moved around him.
Yeah.
And then like you see him turn his head to look into the kitchen and like the camera moved to, I don't know. It was just like a really cool scene. And then like the scene where she's like, there's a scene where she's running through the house and it's like up above. So it kind of looks like she's in this like dollhouse almost. Yeah. You just see the little rooms and stuff, which I don't know if that's what someone was talking about, how the set looked cheap or something, but I don't know.
At this point, like he's just showing off. Yeah. Like he's such a master. I just love how he's made all these popular franchises again. He made The Conjuring, Insidious.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, been there, done that. Now I'm just going to make this really weird freaking science fiction horror story that's completely original. And it's like he's going against his own material.
Right.
Almost. I mean, like that stuff sucks. All these people that came behind me made it suck and not cool and not fresh anymore.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to liven things up a little bit again.
Yeah.
Because you all keep making the stuff that I made before stale.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
There's like, I don't know, 10 Conjuring movies at this point. They're just all so generic feeling.
Like honestly, just talking about it makes me want to watch it right now. Like I just want to watch it. Let's go. I just want to watch it again. All right. Well, we better wrap it up. It just felt
so like punk rock.
Oh, here we go.
Brian Goes Blue says, did you guys notice in the jail scene that the butch blonde was Zoe Bell? Yes, she did look familiar now that you say that.
You're talking about the last one that got killed? The one with the short hair? She was like the last one. It's the one that she's killed.
Literally, I thought I had an image of it, but I didn't get to load them. But yeah, I do notice that now that you say it. She's the woman that's like screaming.
Yeah,
in the
she's
jail
the last
cell.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah. I've been a huge James Wan fan too. I love his style. I think he's a brilliant filmmaker. Malignant is well made and good for him for making something different, but it just wasn't for me. I completely understand it because to be honest, like I was struggling like a day or two after if it was for me or not. And
really?
I decided that.
I know you said that you probably said this earlier. You were like, I don't know if it was really awesome or like really awful.
Yeah. Which I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
And I don't know if like maybe my excitement for it like rubbed off on you. Do you think at all?
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, I know you said,
I do think it's really cool that you liked it. Because I would not have thought you would have liked the movie like that.
Right. Like I could totally see myself being on the other end and being like, oh my God, that was so fucking fucking stupid. Like I could see me being like that, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it just like worked for me.
It just all came together.
It did.
That's a good thing. So yeah, I would bump it up to a 4 out of a 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
And I'll watch it again, and it may jump up for me again.
Yeah.
And it might even end up being like my favorite movie that's come out this year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Because it's right there right now. I still like the Suicide Squad. It's probably my favorite. But
See, I think this was better.
you know, Zola, some of those other movies, but Pig.
They're all different different kinds of movie. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Yeah, well, that's a good score. This is a movie I'll always remember. I'm not gonna forget this movie.
Right.
So at this point, that's a good thing. So
all right, we better wrap it up.
Yeah, nobody has anything else to say. I appreciate everybody joining, and please comment down below your thoughts on any of the movies that we discussed tonight.
Yeah.
And apologies if you came in here and got spoiled, but that's kind of the nature of these live streams.
We just knew we had to talk about definitely Malignant.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that. But appreciate everybody being here, and we'll see y'all later.
Bye.